Hello, my name is Navigator, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at some fairly old, I guess like retro-styled TMNT action figures. These are going to be remakes of the, I think it might have been Playmates, like early to mid-2000s TMNT television show. This is going to be figures from those. I grabbed these at the discount bin at That 80s Toy Shop in Buffalo, New York this past weekend. As you can see, and we'll kind of get into in a second here, all of these guys have been opened. I think that somebody owned them, kept the packaging, and then put them back in the packaging and sold them to That 80s. But I picked them up. This is the show that I grew up on. I've been wanting to get some new Turtles into the collection to display, and I figured that given the price, it was 10 for each of them, this was the perfect opportunity. Now I just need Donatello. I only have Michelangelo, Raphael, and Leonardo. But with that being said, let's hopefully make sure these guys don't fall over. And we'll start off with the first one here, which is going to be Raphael, my favorite Ninja Turtle. So, yeah, as you can see, they're stapled back in there. We'll pull these right off. I might keep like one of these cards, maybe his, but I'm not super concerned with them. Let's take this out. And you can see there's a bunch of accessories. I guess I'll move these two guys back. We can pop these out. Let's see. So we do have those. He has this really cool, like a rope accessory thing. I mean, I think you have to provide the rope, but it's a little thing that you can like kind of have him glide around on. And then we'll get the figure out itself here, which honestly, okay, I think it has a little bit more articulation than I thought. Maybe not. There's pretty much just articulation on the legs and then a little bit on the arms here. Let's just go over the articulation quick so you don't have to do it with the rest of them. There is some leg movement here. As you can see, there is a joint. You can get that around, but there is no knee movement at all. That is one solid piece there. It's the same with the other leg, which is unfortunately bent up. So I think you really can only display him in like one stand, which is like that. So I don't know. It's still cool though, I will admit. There is an elbow swivel, which is very nice, and that can go up and to the side. Again, these are just reprints of the figures that came out at the time, so the articulation is in era, I guess you could say. But overall, this does look really cool, and I like that a lot. That looks nice. So we do have that. Next up here is Michelangelo. We'll pull him out here, throw the card back down, and then what just fell in there? Oh, one of his nunchucks. Yeah, I don't want to lose those. So there's one of the nunchucks there. We'll put Raph's accessories aside. He also has more of these little like yin-yang little buzzsaw things. And then he also has what is supposed to be, I guess, like a little climber. And we'll try this thing out in a second. Pull his other nunchuck out along with the figure. And there we go. Let's throw his nunchucks in his other hand. Let's see. There we go. Not bad. He also kind of has that weird leg, so you can really only pose him like that. But the same articulation and everything. And he looks really cool with the nunchucks. I do like that a lot. He's got a nice face. That is really sweet. And there is storage for all the weapons on the back of these shells. I should have that noted. But that is really cool. And then his accessory is like this little climber thing. So there is some rope, I believe, that is kind of bundled up in there under that cardboard. I understand it's a little blurry, but it's still kind of cool. And I think that you can hook probably this end onto something, and then he grabs onto this, and you can kind of, I don't know, pull it down and wheel it back up or something. Or I guess he grabs onto that right there, that little handle. But an interesting little accessory. I'm sure maybe I can get some use out of that for WWE or my G.I. Joe collection, so not bad. And then we also have here the Leonardo. So let's pull that out, toss that to the side, and we'll pull out Leonardo. And he has what are probably going to be some of the most readily available and useful little things. And these are going to be these little suction cups. You can actually suction this. I guess we can just do it to each other for now. But there we go. And those work like a charm, and they're little pads for him to climb up buildings or do whatever. I'm not really sure, but here we have Leonardo, of course, the leader of the Turtles. And he just looks awesome with his dual-wield katanas. Those just look very, very nice. Let me see if I can get it to focus a little bit. Let's see. At least with Leo. Really not bad. These figures are pretty nice. I believe they came out in 2023. But yeah, there's still some articulation, some playability with these figures, so I'm not complaining, and they scale very well with the other Playmates figures that I intend on displaying this with, so I'm very impressed. I just got to find Donatello at some point. So folks, that'll be it. A review, and I'll get one of these card backs here so you can really see what we're talking about here. But the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that old TV show that did some remakes of their figures, and I grabbed some ones at the bargain bin at That 80s Toy Shop, and I am very pleased with them. So there we go. go. Quick little video here, and if you want to hear the full story about all this and more at my weekend in Buffalo, be sure to check out my recent video going over everything that I picked up at Nickel City Comic Con. I will leave it there. As always, my name is Navigator. Have a nice day. Take care.